Most people know that the role of a coroner is to inquire into the cause and manner of the death of a person who has died in unusual circumstances. But exactly what that means can be quite complicated. In this case, Alfred Malcolm worked along the rail line in southern New South Wales, maintaining wheat silos. On one occasion, he was required to use a fumigating chemical called phosphine. On the day he used the fumigating chemical, he was hale and hearty, but by the next morning, he was in a very bad way indeed, comatose, having thrown up all over himself. He was taken to hospital in Junee, then in the larger nearby town of Wagga, then in Sydney. 3 months after he was poisoned, he developed a bed sore from being comatose so long, and this led to pneumonia and a bladder infection, and ultimately to his death. At the inquest, the coroner found that the cause of death was pneumonia. He found that there was insufficient evidence of the poisoning, although not all of the medical records had been obtained, and that in any event the death was not for 3 months after the poisoning. The minister and Mr. Malcolm's widow both appealed the coroner's findings, while Mr. Malcolm's employer supported the findings. In the background, no doubt, was the potential for a civil action by the widow against the employer. They each had a very clear legal interest in whether the death could be said to have been caused by the phosphine. Justice McClemens found that the coroner should have looked beyond the immediate proximate cause of death. He said, "In this case, obviously, the pneumonia was not the real cause of death. This was merely the final result. But were these things caused in him by the inhalation of poison gas? If what really brought him to this pass was poisoning, and hence caused the death, then the poisoning can fairly be said to be the real cause of death." I do not think that the coroner applied his mind to the problem of the real cause of death, and there should be a fresh inquiry. 50 years on, it's now absolutely understood that a coroner is required to look into the chain of causes contributing to a death, in order to help avoid others in our community from being harmed or dying in the same way.